Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to continue our exploration of the Pirate Midi Bridge 6. I actually got it right this time, I didn't say Pirate Bridge Midi 6. Pirate Midi Bridge 6. So we're going to continue the journey with this, and I'm going to show you how to use these expression sliders to program multiple parameters or performance macros on machines. I think we're just going to focus really on the Digitact 2. So what I could do is set up the Syntact as well, and control some stuff on that. We might do some stuff, but what I've got really is, because the Digitact 2's come out just recently, I focused this track, this one, mainly on the Digitact 2 with some synths thrown in as well. And it's still fairly raw. We did some mixing in one of the videos, but this is day 2 of this track. Actually, I'm batch filming a lot of these videos, and it's still not quite finished, if that makes sense. So it's still a work in progress, which is why it's a great one to use, because I've not done any of these yet. I'll give you a quick example of what these can do, right? So let me just try and find this track on here. Actually, I need to change the bank on here because this will have the macro settings. That's the cool thing about this, because I thought the other day, right, if I'm going to a track like this one here, and I select the pattern, when I use these macros, I can use the foot switches and the macros to manipulate certain things. But if I leave it on this, and then I go to say the pattern we were just on, and that remains there, it means that the MIDI data is still being filtered through this. So whatever I've done on that channel will then interact with stuff that's going on the machines. Where that gets pretty cool is that you could have a few banks in here where it's just like generic stuff that you've set up. Maybe like you have like 4 or 5 banks where it's like this one is like a specific build-up scenario. Or like you might have another bank where the MIDI that gets filtered does certain things. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, because what I like to do is have each track have its own unique parameter settings, like you would with an Octatrack scene. That's kind of what this does. So yeah, but there is that option as well. There's many different ways to cook this, and I like that about it. And you can mix and match it as well. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that track we was just on, which is this one, the main pattern. Let's turn the amount fretted 3 down. And what we're going to do is just focus on the Digitact to start with, and we're going to set up some performance macros on the Digitact. Once we've done that, we're going to then use an expression slider to control them. Then there's other things that we can do, like we can open up like reverb decay and things like that as well. We could even send stuff to the Octatrack if we wanted as well, but I think we'll just focus on this for now. So with the Digitact, what I'm going to do is mute all of the parameters, and the goal is to create a performance build-up macro. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the kick track first. Actually, I think we've got 2 kicks on this. Yeah, we've got 2 kick tracks, right? So let's go to track 3 first. This is the bassy part of the kick track. Sounds like this. Turn the vocal off. What I want to do is get rid of some of the low end in this first. So what we can do is we can go to setup, and then we can go down to mod wheel. In fact, let me just check which one is which. So yeah, you can see that it's not working yet. Let me just figure out why. Oh yeah, that's why I've not set these up on this pattern to do that. So if I go back to the other pattern, this one, you can see that the bottom slider is for mod wheel, and then if we come back out, the top slider is for mod wheel, and the bottom slider is for breath controller. So what we need to do then is go back to this one, and what we're going to do is we're going to set up the breath controller first, the bottom one. This is going to be like the build-up macro. So then what I'm going to do is I am going to go into filter bass, and then we're going to turn it up on here for now and just press play. So we'll get rid of the lows first. I think that'll do for that. And then let's go to track 1 now. Turn this one up. And for this one, what we'll do is look at maybe the effects. So we're doing a bit of sample rate reduction there. Let's send it into delay maybe. That's quite cool. Go to the snare. And by the way, I'm doing very simple stuff to start with. You can get really crazy. Don't forget you can like open up LFO depth and stuff like that. Get that rooted weirdly and just do loads of crazy stuff for a build up. So I'll do a bit more reverb. Let's look at the bass now. So on track 5. So this one I'm going to use filter bass again. Get rid of the low frequencies. Let's also look at what we've got going on with this filter and that as well. So good look at some effects for this. So I want to be on breath control there. Bit of delay there. Bit too aggressive. Add a bit of that in. Sample rate reduction. What else have we got? Leave it at that. Hat. Let's look at the hat next. Maybe for the hat we can do the decay. So we'll go to amp decay time. Look at effects for this one and maybe like some delay and reverb and stuff. I think it's already quite high on that actually. Bit of delay. Let's try the sample rate and bit reduction as well. See what that sounds like. Let's also try sample rate. So we've got them going. What I want to do before we move on is just go into Chrome and go into, yeah, we're already on this one. So this bank here, which is 8. And then what I want to do is go into the bank settings and just get the expression sliders working. So what I might have to do just to re-jog my memory actually is go to this one, which is Goop. That's the name of the track, Goop. And then go into the expression sliders here. You can see we've got some stuff set up already. I can actually copy them if I want. So expression 2A, I'm pretty sure that that one is what we're after. So I think I know how to set this up. We need to just make sure that it's on channel 4, which is Digitap macro, and then it's controller 2. So if we go to number 8, which we're on, bank settings, expression pedal 2A, which is the bottom one. The reason why we've got 2B and 1B as well is because you can actually expand these with the flexi port. If you expand it, then you can have 4 expression sliders, which would be pretty cool. So let's add MIDI. So let's choose channel first. You can see I've labeled these on a global level as well. Digitact macro. You can see I can also select syntax as well. And then CC1 should be the top one, which is mod wheel, and CC2 should be breath controller, which is the bottom one. So we're going to go linear, and then minimum limit is 0, maximum limit is 1.7. I could limit that if I wanted to, but we'll leave it there. And then CC number 2, and then I just want to send that out of the DIN 5, which is the MIDI port on the back. Save. Let's close it. Let's just send it to see if it works, right? So send to device. This one, yeah. Send in. Now this should work. Let me just try it. Yeah, see visually it works there. So let's just test this out. So there's some other things I can do. The volume gets a little bit high, right? So especially on the hat. So let me just check these out. Ah, right, there is one more thing I need to do, I remember. So also what I've done is, if we go back to this one, look at bank settings, 2A, what I've done is, so on channel 4, we've got the Digitact macro, which controls channels 2 to 8 and also 15 and 16 as well, I think. But then on channel 6, what I've done is electron kick tracks, because I wanted the kick to be on a separate channel. I'll explain why in a second. Let me just go back up to number 8. So let's go to bank settings, 2A, let's add in MIDI, control change, linear, channel, electron kick tracks. This controls both the Syntact and the Digitact. It controls Syntact 1 and 9 and also Digitact 1, because that's where I put my kicks and subs and stuff like that. The reason being was that I wanted to separate them from one another, so that, like, on another track I did a foot switch where it knocked off the mutes for channel 1, 9 on the Syntact and also 1 on the Digitact, all at the same time. Now, if everything is on the same channel, when I hit those mutes, it would have turned all of the tracks off. So I'll show you how this works, right? If I go back to the machines, sorry if this sounded a bit complicated the way I explained it, but on the machines here, right, I've got this rectify button. Let me just put Syntact into mute mode. So now both of these are in mute modes, right? Let's put all these back on. If I press this, you can see it switches off 1 and 1 and 9, as well as doing loads of other effects. If I had them on the same channel as everything else, it would switch all the mutes off. So that is the main reason for doing it. That's why I did it. So kick tracks, we want to put this on 2 as well. And then we want to send that out to DIN5 only. Save that. Save and close. Send to device. Once it's sent, I just want to make sure I'm back on this main pattern that we're on. So that's reset now. So the hats are a bit too loud, right? So what we can do is we can counteract that. I'm going to get rid of the bit reduction because I'm not really bothered about that. And then we're going to go to amp volume and just lower the hats down. Also, same with the snare as well. With the bass, that seems to lose a bit of volume, so we're going to go amp volume, just bring that up a bit. Bit better. You could do this more on a global level, so what you could do is you could find the CC number for master volume. I think, is it that one? Yeah, it's that one right there. So you find the CC number for that, for the master volume, and then as you bring this slider up, it brings the volume down a little bit to counteract the build. You don't want the build to sound louder than the drop. Another reason for that happening is the way that I've got stuff routed in Ableton. So everything's going into Digitact. It's going into this raw Digitact channel with the raw on it, with all the distortion. So naturally, when you take away low end, everything else jumps up. That's much better anyway. So yeah, we've got the macros going now. What I could also do if I wanted to is on the second macro, we can do some other stuff. So before we do that though, let's just look at these rides. I'll probably leave them for now. But we've got this really cool little drum loop here. And I have a feeling that I could do something cool with this. So maybe that low pass there, right? So what I'm going to do with this one is we're going to go in to the setup. I'm going to go to breath controller, and then with this one we're going to turn it up, and we're going to go to comb low pass filter. Just let's play it. Let's try some other stuff out just for a laugh, see what happens. Go back in, so setup, a breath controller. Right, yeah, let's go to effects, sample rate redux, try it. It's cool. Bit reduction. Maybe we'll take a bit of the lows out as well. We'll leave that actually. So what we could do with this slider is we can use that as a performance tool like this. I think also the volume as well, we need to kind of counteract. So when you open that, it brings the volume right up. So let's just take it down a bit. It's not doing much there. So let me just see if there's another way of doing this. I think it's just because it's so loud, maybe I have to turn the comb feedback down a bit. That'll do. Right, so let's go back to Chrome now and just set up the overexpression slider. So what I want to do basically is we want channel 4 and channel 6, but we want CC1 this time. So we'll go plus MIDI. We'll go to... In fact, also I need to do this for all of my template settings as well. So this is already set up because this is going to remain constant throughout the set. Control change. Yeah, control change, linear. Channel 4. This time I want to go 1. Once you get into the swing of it, it's really easy to set these up. And then let's go MIDI again. Let's go control change, linear. 6 this time. And let's call that 1. Save and close. Send. Actually, before I do that as well, it's always good to keep saving backups just in case anything goes wrong. So I get into a habit of doing that, just clicking export as file every time and just keep saving them in my downloads folder to come back to if I need to. So this should work now. I don't think it's working yet. That's because I have set it up in the wrong one. So I need to go into breath controller, copy modulations. Should be able to go and stick it in here. There we go. Go into breath controller, clear them ones. Let's try again. Something's going on there where that's a little bit too loud. I'm not on the right setting there, that's why. That should sound better now. I also need to program this as well, so apologies that it's a little bit rusty at the minute because it's still a working project. What I need to do is, I'll do it while we're here. So track 12 is my, is it the right one? Let me just check. Still figuring things out. Yeah, variations. So on track 12, what I can do is I can send a CC note out, and that will change which one of these MIDI clips is selected, which will change all the preset settings in Ableton, including all the distortion settings in the tracks, all of the like EQs and stuff as well. And you can see I've got them in as notes like this. So what we want is G2, but it's weird because these don't really correspond properly. So if I just go in here to that other track, which is called Goop. That note is, I'm going to copy that over. That's on E4, and that's 4 down on the MIDI clips. So we want to be going to, not G2, but actually G4. It's like 2 off for some reason. So I just need to label them differently. Right, so on here, what we can do is we can put that note down, but change it to G4. And you'll notice, in Ableton now, that changes. So you can see, if we go back to the other pattern, changes it to Goop, and then it changes all the settings. If I go to 13, changes it to that one, and then that channel basically just initiates all of those settings. Let's have another little jam now then. Before I do that, let me just tune the MAM MB33. This, if I've had it switched off and then back on, you have to press a little button on the back and it auto tunes, which is pretty handy as well. So yeah, we'll just do that quickly, because I think the tuning was a little bit off. What we're going to do though is we need to, just to finish up, we need to copy over the settings that we did onto the other tracks. So what we need to do then is go into here. We'll just do it on the Digitats actually. We need to go to pattern 13 and we need to go into the setup and we need to go to mod wheel on the tracks. It's going to be quite annoying actually, because I've got to go in now and do each one individually. So we'll just do it real quick. Let's just do it on 16 just to showcase that. So go to 16, paste that in, go to 13. It's probably a quicker way of doing this as well. Copy, 16, paste, 13, copy, paste. This is why kit's come in handy, but obviously I've not set up a kit properly for this. Actually, there's nothing on that one, is there? On the clap. Actually, I'm on the wrong pattern. One sec. Try and do this really quick. I'll keep messing up. Copy that one over. And then we want to go to 15 on the mod wheel. Copy that to pattern 16. So that should work now, quite simply. So if we go to pattern 16. Yeah, so it works. Obviously, there's a bit more programming to do there. I need to go in and program the other patterns individually. And also just tweak stuff as well, because I'm sure there's more stuff I can do. I mean, on pattern 13 there, I've got other stuff going on as well, like the rides that I could program. There could be programmed. Also, if I end up bringing anything in from the Syntax, I could modulate that as well using the same kind of technique. And also we've got the synths as well. If I wanted to, there's another thing I could do, which I still need to set up. So if we go to pattern 16 and listen to, well, let's go 15 actually. Listen to that sequence coming out of the Typhon. If we go to the source page, you can see we've got mod wheel and aftertouch, which does this. That could also be set up to the macros, so that when I bring these up, it also like turns them up as well. I could do stuff on the Octatrack where I know I've got this going on with the crossfader, but like on the vocal, I could do something where when I turn that up, it also like extends the comb filter or the delay feedback. The idea behind these is that I wanted to add the functionality of an Octatrack crossfader to some macros that don't just control the Octatrack, but control everything in the live setup. And that's something I've been wanting for a long time. So on the Octatrack, on the MIDI channel, I used to have my MIDI tracks on here. And I always used to think, wouldn't it be cool if I could set up the scenes to also send out MIDI CC messages via these on here, the CCs there. And I always thought that was a cool idea. Could just never do it, but now I can kind of do it on here. And we don't have scenes as such like these ones, but we kind of do in a way, because we can always go through banks and they can actually become scenes. Like I said in the beginning, maybe I'll test this one day. Like on here on the Octatrack, we've got scene 9 and scene 10. And they do some different stuff. I could set them scenes up on here to be global scenes throughout my set. So 17 could be like 9. 10 could be like 18 and so on, and I could kind of do something similar in a way, maybe. I'm not sure I'm going to do that, but it is possible. So anyway, that's it for today's video, and next week we'll take a look at something different. Let me know in the comments what you want me to cover. In the meantime, if you want to sign up for my mailing list, I often give out discounts for my mastery courses. I've got mastery courses on the Syntax, Typhon, Hydrasynth, soon Octatrack. Also, I don't know if it's out yet, but the Digitact 2 and Digitact 1 mastery courses. In these courses, I take you from the basic level of understanding of each of the boxes right through to sound design, creating full tracks on the boxes. And we just go really, really deep into them. So it's really good to kind of like dig deep into a box and fully understand it before integrating it with everything else. So if you want to get discounts and updates on what's going on that side of things, just sign up. And then I've also got a Patreon as well, where I'll give away free preset samples, diagrams, Ableton racks, presets for the machines and stuff as well. My name's James Oyers from Mix Hackers. I'll see you next week.